Hello and welcome back to BS Games, making a tier list for Johto Pokemon that we can beat in a hand-to-hand battle. No items or weapons or anything. I'm Burn.
Weapon, if you pick them up off the ground. I'm Shadow Wolf 7.
And yeah, we did this because we didn't like the way that other tier lists were made. We thought sometimes people underestimated or overestimated. And Shadow and I have very similar builds, so our tier list will be the same.
Yes,
So,
and the no weapons thing is no guns, no knives, but like a rock that you find on the ground. You can smash something's head in with that.
yeah. And we don't know what environments we'd be fighting in, so it sort of covers all environments.
Yeah, I'd say like all environments. Like usually if there's a specific one we want to tackle, we'd say like, oh, in a fucking forest, you wouldn't stand a chance.
Yeah. It's usually really only the ocean that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, the ocean's a big difference, but other than that, it's like
Or
no big
fighting in a volcano, if we're fighting a fire Pokemon in a volcano. It's like, well, why are we in a volcano in the first place? Like, of course we're gonna get killed there. The
Okay,
volcano's dangerous
Chikorita.
enough as it is. Chikorita's guaranteed, boom, you're dead, see ya.
Not a chance. Stomp it.
I'll put... We're most likely gonna kill a Bayleaf, but it's big enough that...
It is big enough that there's something it could do. It could, maybe you trip over, it stomps on your neck or something, you know, there's a chance. It's just a very small one.
Yeah, I think... unlikely for Meganium. I know it's big, but I'm not sure whether it's big enough to be able to survive an endless thrashing.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I think there's like, you could climb up onto its head with a rock or something. There's something there you could do.
Yeah, exactly, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, let's go and step on that fire mouse.
Yeah.
And Quilava, a little bit bigger, maybe it's got something there that it can live a little
Be
bit.
like
but
fighting like a fire weasel.
yeah. I'm gonna put Typhlosion actually in the unlikely as well. I think it's only about 5 or 6 foot. So I think if you manage to grab a rock and bash it on the head, which you should be able to reach, I reckon you can take it down.
I think it's only barely in the unlikely. I
Yeah.
think if it weren't for its flames, it'd be 50-50.
Yep, I agree. Totodile, I'm gonna put in...
You could get the truck
Yeah, so
under the
likely.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, and I think so maybe Croconaw goes in the 50-50.
Yeah. I think, honestly, you would more likely be in the losing scenario of that, but if you get its mouth shut, there's not a whole lot it can do.
I slightly disagree. I think it is really quite even because it's probably only 4 foot or maybe 5 foot, like top. So you do have the height advantage, so that means you've probably got the distance where you can sort of box it from a distance, but
Yeah, I suppose that's...
but its jaw
And it's
would
pretty-
do some serious damage, so you need to make sure that it doesn't bite you while you're going to punch it.
Yeah. I suppose it is pretty, like, unwieldy, so you could pretty easily get behind it.
Yeah. I reckon our first impossible is for Alligator.
Yeah, I think it's like fighting an alligator that's on 2 feet, you know, very mobile, it's got claws.
Yeah. I think it's
Maybe
just got too
stand
much
it,
of an advantage.
but I feel like unlike an alligator, it could just, because it's on 2 feet, it can just go backwards and crush you that way.
Yeah. I think also it's big enough to be able to take hits. So
Yeah.
I don't think you'd be able to climb it, for example, or something, to be able to go and smack it in the head and take it down.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a tough one.
It is. It's very borderline between impossible and unlikely. But Sentret, on the other hand, that thing's getting fucking squished. Burret, I'm gonna put in likely just because it is 6 foot tall, but I really don't think there's much it can do.
No, it was that big.
It's like 6 foot or maybe even 7 foot.
I just know that he can walk.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think he's got much on you. I reckon Hoot Hoot, that thing's getting just crushed.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Noctowl is a big enough bird, and I think it can sort of take a hit and maybe deal one out, but I think you've got a pretty good advantage over it.
I'm not sure. I'm leaning between 50-50 and likely. Because it is a very big bird.
I'm not sure how big it is.
It'll be likely.
Yeah. Ladybar and Ledian, they are ladybirds. I killed a ladybird earlier today. Easy peasy. It was crawling on me.
Dude, I've been getting bugs in my rooms that are like black ladybugs. I don't know what the fuck
African American.
Sorry, African American ladybugs.
Spinnerack, I think you're killing that thing. No worries.
Yeah, no problem. How big is this area?
I think it's big enough that you've got a good advantage to be able to fucking kill it. But
yeah,
it might do something. Maybe 50-50.
Well, it's like an RPG, you know. You come across big spiders pretty early on because they're weak.
Yeah, that's true. And you can see it doesn't have all that much attack power. It's got a good attacking head, but it doesn't have much around its back. So if you stay away from that head, which is small, you know, you get a stick to make sure you can put the stick in its mouth to keep it at enough of a distance, and then a second stick to be able to whack it on the back and explode it. I think you win.
Yeah.
Throwback. We're putting this in unlikely because we think its wingspan is massive, which makes it massive. Its body isn't all that big, but its speed is that high that you're unlikely to be able to do anything unless you're very lucky and you manage to catch it as it's flying towards you, and then maybe you like constrict it or something and squish it in your arms.
Yeah, that's, you know, essentially the only way you can kill it with
Yeah.
being too fast.
You know, if you're trying to whack a stick at it while it's flying through the air, it's just gonna dodge you.
Ginger.
I think that thing's getting fucking killed.
I don't think it stands a chance.
I think maybe Lantern has enough power now to be able to do maybe something, but even in the water, you bring a stick and you just stab it.
Well, it's like, what could he even do in the water? It's like he could shock you a bit. I guess maybe he could get you to drown if he shocks you enough.
Yeah, but
That's it, really.
yeah, I agree. Now, all of these baby Pokemon, they're babies. We all know how to kill babies.
Yeah, I can beat the shit out of baby.
Even Togetic, still baby size.
Just a flying baby. Yeah, I can beat a flying baby.
Exactly. I have seen you beat a flying baby.
Yeah, that time we shot one out of the cannon.
Yeah.
It was flying like mad, but I took the baseball bat and bam.
Home run. So same thing with Natu. I know it's got psychic powers, but it's so small, its psychic powers are weak, obviously, and it's a tiny little bird, so it dies. Whereas I think we're gonna go 50-50 on Xatu.
I'm not sure. I think it's about the same as Noctowl.
I think its psychic powers are a little bit more pronounced than
Yeah,
Noctowl's, and so that's what drives it over the edge, just a little bit.
yeah, I suppose so. That makes sense.
Mareep, that's a tiny little sheep. It dies. Easy kill. I'm gonna put Flaffy in likely because it's just big enough that it might have enough electrical power to do something to maybe be able to shock you enough that you eventually just give in, but
Yeah, maybe.
it's a pretty tough call. Ampharos, I think maybe 50-50.
50, yeah. I think it would be weaker than a human and stuff, but the electricity gives it, puts it on the same footing.
Yeah. Now I think you make it a dragon, and there's not much of a chance that you've got a little bit of a chance, but not much.
Yeah. You got a bit of a chance in that it still looks pretty frail.
Yeah. Now, it's funny because I think Bellossom goes in guaranteed, even though Gloom was in the likely, because now it's gotten even smaller, so it can just be stepped on. And it's also gotten rid of its acidic powers.
It's weakened itself.
Yeah, what an idiot. Peekaboo. That thing's fucking dead as shit.
Yep.
I think Azumarill can go likely. It's big enough, maybe it can take one hit. If it's lucky, it's got huge power and it's able to deal out a decent attack.
A wiggly tub, it's probably just gonna be a fucking meat bag that you wail on, but maybe it could do something.
I think Sudowoodo is also in... Yeah, I think it's similar where it's a meat bag, but with this one being a meat bag, you hurt your hands when you're punching it. It probably won't be attacking back much, but if it does, it's a rock.
Did you get exhausted? You go for a bit of a rest and a body slams you. You're just dead.
Yeah. Politoed, I'm putting him in likely. I mean, it's a frog. Not much to say. It's a decent sized frog, so hey, maybe it can pull off some sort of magic shit. And its water attacks are probably powerful, being a third evolved form, but even still. Yeah. Hoppip, I mean, I would just grab that thing's fucking... the spinny things and just wrap it up in it and just fucking constrict it. And split it in half. And Skiploom, that thing can skip all the way under my foot where it gets squished.
Yeah, that one right to the graveyard.
Yeah. And Jumpluff, I mean, honestly, I think I would just eat it. I think it looks delicious.
Yeah. I think I'd probably just blow it away in the wind, like I would with any of those things.
Yeah.
This one's living.
I'm gonna give Apom a likely, because it is so small, but it is a monkey, it's got 3 hands. That tail...
It is a weaker monkey than a monkey, but its tail hand thing might be able to do some damage.
Yeah. Sunkern, the weakest Pokemon. I mean, it's dead. Sunflora, nothing. It's got nothing.
I fought a sunflower before, and it didn't stand a chance.
Yeah. Yeah. I've fought a whole field of them.
No
Yanma.
chance.
Yanma, dead. Whooper,
The
too
dragon.
small.
Dead.
Yeah. These
Man,
things...
this creature's got a lot of limbs.
It is, and it's very small. We're like so far through it already. I think Quagsire is just going to be another punching bag.
Yep.
Espeon, I think, is... Maybe we even put it at 50-50. Just because of its psychic powers.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'll leave it up to you.
I'll go. I think its psychic powers might put it at just enough of an advantage to go into 50-50, but I think it really is a little bit more in our favour. Just not enough.
Yeah.
It's very borderline. I think Umbreon, however, is dying. I know that
Yeah,
its sweat is toxic or whatever, so you'll probably die if you scare it enough that it sweats on you, but
Or if
then
it's
you
not
die
blinking
afterwards.
out.
Yeah, I mean,
But
that
I
is a
don't
common
really-
fighting style.
Yeah.
Murkrow, that's small enough. That thing dies.
It's,
Slowking, I'm thinking maybe it goes 50-50.
yeah, I think so too.
Slowbro was unlikely, but I think Slowking is just a bit more likely to attack you.
Yeah.
I think it can take your hits, and it'll probably take a whole bunch of hits, but I think it's going to be pissed off and attack you, and then demolish you.
Yeah.
So it's a 50-50. Misdreavus,
I think it's the same as Ghastly.
you reckon unlikely?
Yeah.
I think
that's
maybe-
the cleanest.
I think maybe 50-50. I think if you manage to suck it up, you take it down. But if you don't suck it up, then it's really not going to do anything to you. So it's a 50-50 on who wins.
Yeah.
Unknown, that's just the alphabet. That thing's dying.
Yeah.
Wobbuffet, I'm going to put in likely, just because...
What if it just like here?
What if it just
Destiny.
was? Yeah, it
What
could
if it
just
just-
Destiny Bond, or just you're hitting on it a whole bunch. It's a fucking idiot. It keeps on using Mirror Coat and Safeguard and Destiny Bond, but it's not going down yet. And then it works out, wait a minute, he keeps on punching me, maybe I should use Counter, and fucking takes you down that way.
Yeah, I suppose.
But even that, pretty unlikely. So you've got a good chance of winning. Girafarig, I'm gonna put that in the likely because I think you can just break that thing's fucking legs.
A small giraffe too.
Exactly. If it were a normal sized giraffe, it'd be fucking scary as shit. But it's a small giraffe, it's, you know, horse sized. I think we can take it.
Yeah.
A pine cone, I use pine cones as weapons, so
Yeah.
I'm not expecting my own weapon to be able to attack me.
There's a Pineco, you're just like, oh sweet, I gotta pick this up, stuff it in my pockets in case I need to fight any Pokemon.
Exactly. Forretress, I think that thing is impossible.
How would you kill it?
Exactly. I just can't... Maybe you can pry it open?
I feel like you probably couldn't.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be good enough to be able to... I think it'll avoid being pried open.
Yeah.
Dunsparce, I believe it's a land snake, so I think that's its description. I think you can take it down. It's very weak too, so
I think it's a dumb little idiot. You'd squash it.
yeah, I think it is too. I think Gligar has a chance of flying past your throat and severing your carotid. But
Yeah,
other than that, it's pretty
sure.
small. Let's go and fucking body slam that fucker and squish him.
I don't know. He could make it to 50-50. Because he does have that pointy tail too.
Yeah, I think he's pretty pointy, so I think that's fair. And being able to
think he's
fly
got a
gives him a
huge
good chance. Now, if we can't beat fucking Onyx, we're not beating Steelix or Mega Steelix. No chance. But a Snubble, that thing I'm fucking kicking right in the head.
Yep.
Granbull, now that's a big dog, standing up on all fours. I'm gonna put
I
him
wouldn't
in
say
unlikely.
Yeah. It's a big old jaw too.
Yeah, and I think he's bulky enough to really take a fucking beating.
Yeah.
Quillfish, I'm gonna put in guaranteed. I think you're gonna easily kill him. You're gonna pop him so easy, and then you're gonna die later on because you're definitely getting poisoned from killing it. But you still won the fight.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
I think Pinsir, Scyther was an unlikely. Pinsir, there's no way you break that shell now, so he's just too deadly.
Yep.
Shuckle,
Ooh,
he's a god.
Yeah, we need another tier, a higher tier.
I'll make a higher tier. Let me just pause this for a second while I make another tier. Okay, here we go. We've made a new category. It is God. You do not fuckle with my boy Shuckle.
Yep. That guy, I reckon. Oh, imagine a turtle stack of Shuckles.
Dude, I was just thinking about how similar our boy Yertle and Shuckle are.
Yodel
I'm sure
and
they're
Shuckle
good.
team up? Oh boy. That's an
Our two gods.
right there. Yeah.
You gotta love them. Okay, now Heracross, I think is 50-50.
I think Heracross has a better chance of killing you than you do with him.
You reckon?
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, I might actually agree, because he is a fighting type, so you know he's trained, at least somewhat, and then if you add that horn, I feel like it's a fighting style that you're not going to be used to.
Yeah.
And he can use that. He's probably got the like distance advantage to be able to fight you at a distance. I don't know how big they actually are, but those horns look pretty. I reckon they're pretty good. And so then Mega, I think he.
Mega Heracross. I don't think I've ever seen him before. Or if I have, he just didn't look as fucking goofy as he does right now.
Yeah, he looks goofy as
yeah.
fuck, but that thing is really big and he gets really fast, I think. I can imagine he's fast, so I reckon he does. I reckon he does good.
His armor looks like as tough as a Cypher or something.
Yeah. I'm putting Sneasel in likely that you can beat him. I know he's fast and he's got those big claws, but I think he's fast for burst form and stuff, and so compared to a normal person, and they're decent sized claws, but I don't think they're that deadly. I think they're enough that you can catch his arm as he's coming for you, and then bonk him on the head, and you just fucking demolish him.
And even if you don't, I feel like he cuts you, you probably manage to grab him.
Yeah.
And if, like, that would be the scenario where he wins, if you don't manage to grab him, and he cuts you somewhere where you bleed out, like the femoral artery.
Yeah. Now Teddiursa, I'm putting him straight in the guaranteed. I don't think he's... Yep.
I fought Teddy when I was a child.
Oh yeah? How did that go?
So,
You won? Guaranteed.
Yeah, I won every single one, yeah.
Okay, confirmed. I'm putting Ursaring in the unlikely. I mean, he is a bear, and that's about
There's a
it.
small chance you manage to kill a bear.
Yeah. I'm gonna put
Like,
Slugma in likely. Actually, no, let's go guaranteed. I don't think he can really do anything to you.
I think it's still likely. I think he could give you a bad enough burn that, like, maybe you fall down and then he gives you a worse burn on, like, your neck.
I guess, yeah, if he manages to burn, like, your leg, knock you over, and then he fucking slimes all over your face,
yeah,
you probably won't be able to breathe, and he'll fucking kill you.
but
Magcargo?
he's a slug, so you just throw rocks at him.
I reckon Magcargo, unlikely. Actually,
Yeah.
maybe 50-50, because he's really
I don't know.
slow.
I think that flamethrower's a bit too deadly.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
you know what?
when
Yeah,
you're throwing rocks and stuff at him, you would get in flamethrower range.
yeah. I think you're right. Yeah, good point. Okay, Swinub. That thing is gonna pop when you step on him.
Yep.
Piloswine, I think, is 50-50. He's pretty big, but I don't think he's too deadly.
I think he's too big to be in 50-50. I think he's unlikely.
I think he's also very slow though, so he's not really doing all that much. He's just a meat cushion.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. He's somewhere, between unlikely and 50-50. It's one of those two.
Yeah, I agree. Corsola, I'm putting in guaranteed. It is Coral.
Yep.
Easy to kill. Remoraid,
Yep.
that is easy kill. Tiny little fish. Octillery, I'm putting in... I'm thinking maybe even unlikely. Octopuses are very deadly.
Real quick on Corsola. We're already beating the Coral. Great Barrier Reef going down.
Exactly. Proof that we're winning.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd also agree with you on Tillery. Octopuses are really freaking smart. They're really good at getting away from you.
Yeah.
It'd be just kind of a nightmare to fight.
Yeah, he'd be very difficult. Whereas Santa, I'd kill Santa.
Yeah, fuck Santa.
Mantine,
That could have given me the present I wanted, you little shit.
I reckon Mantine should go in 50-50. Although maybe killed Steve. Our boy Steve. So maybe...
Yeah, he doesn't have the barbed tail thing in the back.
Yeah. I reckon 50-50. He's big.
Yeah.
I reckon he'd be bulky enough to take some hits, but...
Skarmory.
Not that bad. Skarmory, that thing is fucking killing you.
Yeah.
Houndour, that's a little fucking doggo. That thing dies.
Yeah.
Houndoom,
Not big enough to be likely.
I think maybe 50-50. Because he
think
can't
so,
really use those horns.
I think he's not quite big enough or deadly enough to be unlikely.
Yeah. I think Mega Houndoom is unlikely. I think you've still got a bit of a chance to kill him, but his attacks are going to be very powerful.
He has way bigger and deadlier horns. He's got that fucking bone armor all over his front. You gotta get him on like the side or the belly or the back.
Yeah.
There's easy.
Kingdra, I feel like that's a tough one to place.
I think just likely, it's still a fucking seahorse.
Yeah, I think you're
All
right.
it's gonna do is use its water attacks.
Yeah. Okay, Fanfi is such a small elephant that I think we can fucking kill that thing.
Yeah, that's a tiny elephant.
And I think Donphan is an unlikely.
I think so too. Yeah, he's not big enough. Real elephants are fucking huge. That one just isn't.
Yeah, and I'm sure it can take quite a hit. But
I think it
it's
would be
so
more
small that it
similar
can't
to-
take too much.
I think it'd be more similar to fighting a bull or something than an elephant.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Porygon 2 is just a computer program that we can just beat.
I think he can upgrade nothing. He sucks.
Yep, agreed. Stantler, I think it's like fighting a deer.
Yeah.
I reckon I can fight a deer.
If he had better form, he'd be 50.
Yeah, agreed. Now, I would beat up an artist.
I've beaten up plenty of artists
Mm.
and stolen their artwork and then paid them in mere shout out. Classic is made right there.
I beat them up and then I paint over their paintings in their own blood.
Oh, but yeah, that'll teach them.
Now this little baby fighter, I think, it's a really pathetic fighter. So I think it's like fighting a toddler. I think it's worse than Marchop. I don't think it has the strength to be able to do anything.
Look at how skinny it is.
Yeah, exactly. It just doesn't have the power to do any damage. Fighting a Beyblade?
Marchop's a child who just lifts like mad.
I think this Beyblade's gonna get ya most of the time.
Yeah, that is a deadly Beyblade.
Now, there's some more children to beat up.
More children?
Hell yeah. More children. I love beating up children.
Oh, I do too.
Miltank, I think, is unlikely. I think it's going to be a bit of a punching bag. If it decides to fight, it's scary. I mean, honestly, it's probably like fighting a cow.
Yeah,
and that wouldn't go well.
Fighting a cow is not that much different to fighting a bull.
Yeah.
I prefer a cow over a bull, but I think it'd still be unlikely.
It's still pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Blissey, I think, is just dying. It doesn't have the heart in it to attack you and do anything.
Yeah, I suppose so.
And even its special attack and stuff, if it uses the thunder and stuff, it's so weak that I don't think its thunder attacks are even gonna do much to you.
Yeah.
Raikou, I think... Is it guaranteed to kill you, or do you have a chance to kill it if it doesn't fight back?
I think you have a chance against all three dogs.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Because I feel like, under the right circumstance, with a really lucky shot, like it's borderline impossible, but it's not quite.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna say that Larvitar, it's too small to do anything. Yes, it's a rock, but I think you can take it out and it's not gonna do anything. Pupitar, once again, I don't think it's got great attacks to be able to do anything. So it's a guaranteed win.
Pick it up, and then you'll won.
Yeah, I think you can just pick it up and just keep on smashing it against the ground or trees or something, and I think you'll win that way. Yeah.
Just go to like pond. Fucking die, Pupitar.
Tyranitar, impossible. Too big.
Yeah,
too bulky.
Essentially a fucking dinosaur dragon thing.
Yeah.
No, not a...
Lugia, also too big. Fucking a legendary Pokemon. I mean, legendary Pokemon are very rare to be able to actually beat.
Yeah.
Celebi, I think, is one that you've got a 50-50 chance on.
Why is that?
I think it's got very powerful attacks and stuff, but it is so small, it is playful and that sort of thing, so it might decide it wants to play with you, and then you fucking eat its head.
Oh yeah, sort of similar to a Mew.
Yeah.
Yeah, stupid mythicals.
I mean, it's got a lot of power, it can do a lot of damage to you if it decides to attack. It can time travel to just piece the fuck out of the fight, or to go like 50 years into the future until you're an old person and fucking shove you over. But
that's essentially what he can do though. He can just be like, not the time travel, but he could just be like, I'm just gonna go to the moon and form a barrier around myself.
Yeah.
It'd
But
just be a matter of getting surprise attack on them.
Yeah. So this one, a lot of easy kills. It does have a lot of baby Pokemon in there. But it seems like Johto is a bit of an easier region to fucking kill than... Other than the God. You do not mess with God. But that's all, and we will see you guys in the Hoenn video.